Hello, Marks. Lyssie and Dylan here, talking about wrestling. That's why the podcast is called Talkin Wrasslin. We're going to talk about wrestling and probably get into some sort of debate. Maybe. I don't know. Who's the host and who's the co-host? I also don't know. We're going to find out together. Let's talk wrestling. All right. Let's get into it. So before we really get into everything, check out the previous episodes if you haven't. The last episode, what the fuck did we call it? The delectable medium rare entree or something.
Something like that.
So yeah, definitely check out our last episodes. And Dylan, you have anything you want to add in here quick?
Gonna have to get a new cart this weekend.
That's such great fucking news. Anyway, so we're actually just gonna jump into it this episode. Not really gonna give a rundown about how our weeks went. We're recording this actually on a Friday with SmackDown on in the background. So yeah, not much has really happened too much in the wrestling news aspect. It was kind of a slow week.
Towards the beginning of the week, it was really slow, and then that's when I came up with the idea of like, we need something to fill the time on this podcast. So it turned into, this is going to be a questionnaire podcast.
Yeah, so we will be running down a little bit of the wrestling news, and we'll be talking a little bit about Raw, a little bit about Dynamite.
And a little bit about the beginning of SmackDown that I caught before we recorded this.
And I guess a little bit of that, which I have no idea because I've quite literally just gotten home from work probably 10 minutes ago.
It ties into like the one news portion that we have in here.
But yeah, after the Dynamite segment, we're going to go straight into the questionnaires and then the wrestler of the week. So let's get into it. So I'm reading off of Dylan's notes as he types these out every week.
Yeah, we'll give people we'll break kayfabe, I guess. I book the episodes, like literally.
Don't say you book them. Don't say you.
If people have a problem with the format of shit, it's my fault.
Please beat up Dylan.
I write down the notes though, but
I just pee on the notes.
Lyssie's the host this week, though.
Oh, yeah, I'm the host, by the way.
That's why you get to pick Wrestler of the Week.
Which is why I get to pick Wrestler of the Week, which is going to be a fun one to talk about a little bit later on.
Oh, my God.
But let's start with some of this wrestling news, which I cannot believe that you put this down as wrestling news.
This is big news.
Zombie Sailor Toys new CM Punk figure with a Larry figure.
That's the big news.
That is
I pre-ordered it this morning.
Which I'm happy you did.
It was only $40.
That's not bad.
Which is crazy. It's just nuts that it's a WWE contracted wrestler.
Yeah, Larry's the best wrestler on the roster.
Getting a figure that's not by Mattel.
Oh, that's the crazy part. I thought you meant that Larry finally got his recognition.
But that's also cool too that it's Larry.
It's so cute.
It's so cool.
Are you taking them out of the box?
Probably not.
Good.
Because that Larry figure, and that I'm never going to sell my figures, but that Larry figure probably going to go for some fucking mean money one day.
I mean, maybe, possibly. I would, in fact, pay $5 million for it. Easy.
Punk was sharing, like, Instagram stories, and Larry loves his figure.
Dylan, when are we getting a dog?
I don't know.
But yeah, Dylan pre-ordered the new figure, which I told him I would have been really mad at him if he didn't. Especially for it only being $40. Like, that's a fucking steal.
Yeah.
So honestly, yeah, it looks cool. I'm just more so happy about the Larry part because that's so fucking cute. And I honestly think that they should make more wrestling figures with animals of people's pets. That would be fantastic. Okay, so you said that there's screenshots for this one, but Scott D'Amore being fired from TNA.
Yeah, like what LOL TNA just doing LOL TNA things of firing Scott D'Amore.
I still don't, which you have the screenshots, but I still don't. Like, I understand. I don't understand,
it's a mess,
but I
bro.
understand, but I don't understand, if that makes sense. Like, I get what they were saying, but it makes no sense to me.
So, I have 4 screenshots.
That was a picture of Ghost.
Yes, but I have 4 screenshots about this. So, it was first being reported by PWI this week. The decision to fire Scott D'Amore came directly from Anthem owner Len Asper. So fuck you, Len. TNA parent company Anthem Sports and Entertainment will be stepping in and taking a much larger role in the day-to-day management and strategies of the promotion. TNA will now be folded into Anthem's entertainment arms going forward, as opposed to existing in its own corner of the company. The idea is that it will allow TNA to become embraced more by Anthem and have a stronger synergy in order to maximize what each side has to offer the other. As part as the interrogation, the Moore has been removed from power and is gone, effective immediately. So that's the first screenshot.
I'm going to be so honest with you, while you were reading that, I completely fucking zoned out.
Yeah.
It's like, this is a lot of words, and I understand very little of them.
So then there was like an add-on to this report of like, kind of like what happened. PWI Insider reports Anthem/TNA had talent attend a Zoom meeting where they addressed the Scott D'Amore departure and introduced new TNA president Anthony Sycone. I don't know how to say that actual name. Multiple TNA talents tell PWI Insider, there goes wrestlers bitching the journalist, that they were told D'Amore had stepped down from the company, which was not the case, and not even what was stated in the company's official statement. D'Amore was fired, which, if you go back and read TNA's statement about it, they literally say Scott D'Amore was fired. This portion of the call was reportedly very angry before execs joined the call and tried to calm everyone down. The story going around amongst talent is that D'Amore was fired because Anthem wanted TNA to be more closely associated with them, rather than Scott D'Amore, who has been the face of the company's success. However, that was not addressed on the call. D'Amore was very well liked amongst TNA talent, and this adjustment is not going to be an easy one. Mind you, this guy has been with TNA not since day one, but since 2003. So pretty much the first year. He has been a part of TNA.
So, like, I'll just pop in here.
I got one more, but go ahead.
Okay, well, I'll just pop in here really quick and say, like, I think that this is kind of a fair thing to go to journalists about. I wouldn't say that this is, like, leaking information or bitching to journalists. I think this is something that's a little bit more important of, like, hey, like, they're actually kind of, like, the company's kind of fucking on us right now.
I was just saying, because, like, it's been, like, 3 episodes in a row where this has been brought up, wrestlers going to journalists. I was like, oh, there we go.
But I think this is a little bit different when, like, the company's trying to, like, deceive their talent into something completely different when there's clear-cut evidence and documents saying otherwise. So I feel like that's a little bit more important than like a he said, she said type of situation when it's like, yeah, no, so they're fucking around hardcore.
Yeah. So this is like, this whole thing has been crazy because like it came out of nowhere. TNA has been getting better, and we're gonna get into the last one. This is actually my segue into it, but TNA's been getting better. We bought tickets to go see a TNA in next month, and we're still going, but like, man, I really hope it doesn't take a turn for the worse, because it's wrestling. You know how this stuff goes. Usually, like, Scott D'Amore was loved by so many people in TNA. Like, the guy, the booker, all of this, and it just came out of nowhere.
Oh god, yeah, this is literally out of fucking nowhere.
TNA just got their legs back underneath them and everything. But there was the whole thing going on of supposedly Scott D'Amore knew that this was coming.
Okay.
And he was actually trying to just straight up buy the company.
Okay.
And this kind of leads into this thing. I forget where I got this off of Twitter. I forget. I saved like literally the pictures. I forget. I don't know who was reporting this, but it's a couple of quotes. This is from Asper, Lena Asper. There was a lot of people assuming something. How do you say that word?
There's a lot of people assuming something blank happened to lead to D'Amore's exit.
Wow, we can never read.
Maybe like malicious.
Okay.
Maybe malicious is like an adjective. That's not an adjective.
Something happened to lead to D'Amore's exit, but we are told by sources close to Anthem that wasn't the case. While no one is clear as to why this decision was made over the last day, the belief seems to settle on the idea that Len Asper, the head of Anthem, and D'Amore came to a crossroad where they disagreed on how TNA should be operated, and and only one person was going to win that butting of the heads. The word making its rounds over the last day or so is that at some point in recent weeks, D'Amore approached Anthem with an offer to buy TNA outright from Anthem. Said to have been backed by letter with a major banking institution, but it was rebuffed. We have heard from some on the Anthem side that was seen as a legitimate offer that was worthy of consideration, but the decision was made not to accept. If Anthem wanted to do away with TNA, they could have just sold it off to D'Amore or sought bids from WWE, AEW, etc. There's been no evidence of that. If he was making an offer to buy the asset and walk away with it, that means D'Amore knew the clock was ticking on the job and wanted to try to keep something he felt was important to him personally. Explanation: like Eric Bischoff once trying to buy WCW. D'Amore made an effort, but it didn't happen. We are told D'Amore was aware at least a week to 10 days ago the change was coming, so this wasn't a shock firing out of nowhere. Well, to everyone else it was. Even if it was announced yesterday and shocked everyone, this was something coming over several weeks, as we had first gotten word of it a few weeks ago and we were working to confirm the story. Well, nothing broke. We are told there were lots of meetings to plan out how things would work post-D'Amore, and that Anthem took a look at everything internally they could improve upon by interrogating TNA under their entertainment wing. This hasn't seen some knee-jerk reaction. That was weird wording. That something evil that had happened, but that hasn't stopped some from assuming that because Vince McMahon was exposed that something surely happened with D'Amore, even if that's not rooted in reality. Okay? That whole last
that is very confusing wording.
Yeah, that whole last one was really confusing. In other words, supposedly D'Amore knew about this, but no one knew about this. And now it's just kind of questions of what's going to happen with TNA, because if it wasn't for Scott D'Amore, TNA would be just some fucking tape library.
Yeah.
That's all it would be, sitting on Peacock. You have to subscribe at $5.99 a month, and you'd be able to watch TNA. Scott D'Amore literally stripped down TNA. Well, Impact at the time, stripped it the fuck down and rebuilt it the fuck back up. And then it's gone like that.
I don't know.
Corporate America, ladies and gentlemen.
I have a shitty feeling about it. You know what I mean? I think everybody does, but I don't know. I mean, we just recently got what is it, the TNA thing on YouTube or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to be watching it, and it's been a very, very, very long time since I've watched anything to do with Impact or TNA to begin with. So it's exciting and cool and awesome and yada 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 and everything. But now it just kind of feels well, shit. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it the best way, because again, it has been so long since I've been in it. But I don't know. I just remember loving TNA when I was younger, and that was all him. So,
well, he's been there, but he was never in a big role like this before.
Okay.
Because there was Jeff Jarrett owned it.
Well, I know that, yeah.
Then Dixie Carter, and we don't need to go into that fucking mess of Dixie Carter, Hulk Hogan, Eric Bischoff, and Russo bullshit. But it's just, it's sad and disappointing, but at the same time, I guess, you gotta be optimistic with it and just see what happens, I guess.
I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping it doesn't just take a nosedive and then TNA's done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. It's a weird thing, and again, I still don't fully understand it. I don't get why, especially when you have somebody already on your payroll that is so determined to make something happen with this company, and you're just no. No.
And these motherfuckers that are running it probably have no idea how wrestling works. That's how it usually goes.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Just like how we're gonna have to wait and see what the fuck this WWE speed thing is.
I'm kind of hyped for it. Not gonna lie.
Don't know how I feel about this.
It's a cool concept. It's gonna be on Spike, or not Spike. Why did I say Spike? Because we're talking about TNA.
What the fuck is your problem?
It's gonna be on Twitter.
Gonna be on Twitter.
And it's gonna be 5-minute matches or less. So action-packed fucking matches.
I don't know. Like I like the concept. I think it's fun, and I get it that Twitter is like the big area for wrestling. Like it's basically like what chat rooms were now.
Yeah.
Is what Twitter is. So I get it that it's like catered to the fans that are in that like social media circle the most.
Yeah.
I don't really know how it's gonna work. Like not work, but like I don't know. WWE always like has this bad habit of doing these like
it's only
weird branching out things.
I know it's gonna last like 3 months at
yeah,
most.
like and it's like, oh, there's this brand new exciting thing that's gonna be happening, and then it's like over.
It's gonna last like 3 months.
It's just I don't know. When WWE announces stuff like this, I don't want to get like overhyped about it or like
it's
be
a cool
super
concept.
excited. Yeah, like it's nifty, but I don't know. I'm not into it really. Like I don't want to sound like such a Debbie Downer about it, but like I'm not as like fucking hyped. You know what I mean?
I'm just happy that it's 5 or less minute matches because everyone needs to have a 20-minute match.
And I mean, it'll be nice that like, it's another way to get more talent like out there and have people watching wrestlers that who know might not get the time of day really on TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's probably going to be like, I don't know how they're going to do it. Like, if they're just going to put a match on there live, or like it's going to be taped. Like, it's going to have to be taped before like SmackDown or like Raw before they go on air.
Yeah, but
some shit.
I don't know. We'll see. It's just something that I'm kind of like, about, like, cool, I guess. I don't really care enough. I don't care enough about it. What I care a little bit too much about, though, that I've been so fucking angry about these past 2 fucking days, and we'll get into in a second, is the Seth and the Roman and the Rock and the Cody bullshit fucking saga that's going on, that I guess Triple H set straight on SmackDown a little bit earlier.
He kicked off SmackDown before we recorded this and before you got home. And he set it straight.
I was talking to my coworker / friend Mark about this on actually over Twitter, not like tweeting at each other, just like in our DMs nonetheless about this the other day. And we're talking a little bit about it again today. And like I still think I have the same opinion as to I think they did the best with what had happened that they could. However, I feel like Cody looks like a fucking idiot. I feel like this whole thing made Cody look really fucking stupid. Like, it makes him look indecisive, because after the Rumble, he's pointing at Roman, he's like, I'm coming for your ass. And then he's like, LOL, JK, actually, here's your cousin. And then he's like, LOL, JK, again, I'm indecisive, sorry. No, I actually want the match with you, I was just kidding. And like, it makes him look indecisive, it makes him look stupid, and I don't know. I feel like they've constantly been toying with Cody, like, since he came back. And I mean, a lot can argue with that of like, well, he's on the cover of 2K24 and, he's got the pyro and he's like one of the guys. But I feel like they still are just not treating him like the guy, and they're constantly fucking on him. But aside from that, like, another point that I want to discuss about this is this whole thing shouldn't have happened to begin with. And if The Rock, Dwayne, did really, like, politic his way into this shit, right? If he really did, like, be like, no, I want a main event with Roman at WrestleMania, I'm gonna do this, and, like, weaseled his way into this, the issue there with me lies with the person who's giving the final say and the final go-ahead with this shit, because why are you so fucking spineless and easy to manipulate into letting someone just politic their way into something and then just completely cause a huge uproar and a huge fucking problem for the fan base of your fucking company that's now making you backpedal and making your guy look like a fucking idiot. Like, the whole thing just shouldn't have fucking happened. And I think a lot of people agree with that point of like this whole thing shouldn't have happened. Nobody fucking wanted Rock, but it's up to the person who's making those final says to understand their fan base and understand what the people want. And WWE is still having that problem to this day of actually listening to their fans and caring about what their fans care about and treating them properly instead of just making them feel like idiots for even watching wrestling. So yeah, I that's my whole viewpoint on this, is like a bigger problem than just the actual situation in itself, I guess, like at its face value. But Dylan?
This wasn't supposed to happen, but like they definitely did not plan any of this. And I said it to you yesterday. We are witnessing them, like, we're witnessing real life damage control take place of like, fuck, oh shit. It's like that scene of SpongeBob where he's running around in his head. Like, that's what it is right now.
What's your name? What's my name?
Yeah, no, that's what it literally is right now. Like, they're figuring this shit out as it goes. Like, yeah, it makes Cody look like an idiot. If The Rock politicked his fucking way into getting a WrestleMania match, fuck you, Dwayne. But the press conference yesterday was fucking a really weird acid trip, honestly. That was wild. That was the most UFC type shit I've seen in WWE ever. I'm cool with heel Rock. This kind of segues into what was set straight on SmackDown. So we are getting Cody versus Roman. That's what Triple H set it straight, and the Elimination Chamber match will decide whoever wins that will face Seth Rollins at Mania. And it seems like we're doing a Civil War storyline between Triple H camp and The Rock camp, which is just fucking insane. But like I said, even though this wasn't planned, and that they're literally fucking gluing together the broken pieces as they're going, this is probably one of the hottest storylines that WWE has done in recent memory, because yeah, you don't have to like it. A lot of people don't. A lot of people think this is fucking weird and confusing and all of that. But it has you talking, doesn't it?
I'll say it has me talking, but like not in like, I mean, I guess it falls under the any PR is like, even bad PR is good PR, but like it makes me so uninterested in it. And again, maybe it's just me being too cynical and being too critical of it, but it makes me not give a shit about the storyline, because all I really wanted to care about, as someone who's, we'll say this a million times over, not a fucking Cody Rhodes fan, like, and someone who does not care about Cody, the only thing I gave a shit about was just the fact that I can, at the end of the day, respect the fact that this man did go out there, make himself like a guy. He showed WWE what they are missing out on and what they fucked up. And he did all of that shit and got back and is now kind of being treated how he fucking deserves to be treated. Which, whatever. And I can at least acknowledge that he deserves, I'm so sorry if you heard that, people here suck. He at least deserves his fucking belt. Like, he deserves to finish his fucking story, and that's all I wanted to give a shit about, is finally Cody finishing this. But now there's all this other fucking stupid bullshit that's clouding the moment and clouding what was supposed to just be this story. Oh my fucking god, I hate the people that live in this goddamn city. And it's just a mess.
Assholes.
It's just a mess of something that shouldn't have been a mess and should have just been a clear cut done.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I think there's just so much that's like wrong with it too. Like, they're making Seth look like a fucking idiot.
Every match got the Seth chair.
They're making Cody look like an idiot.
Everyone looks stupid. Dwayne looks like a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
When he up until this point, I don't really think many people, like, fan base wise, would have ever thought Dwayne was looking like a fucking politicking asshole in the year of 2024.
Yeah, some people didn't really care for Dwayne.
But nonetheless, I'm just saying,
Black Adam bombs, the XFL bombs.
In the year of 2024, this was not something that people were going to be thinking about.
I thought he'd be running for president, to be honest with you.
Cody looks like an idiot. Seth looks like the fucking third wheel.
Yeah,
and Roman just is still boring.
This goes
He's still bland.
This goes into my thought process of what they should do, but they probably won't, because God forbid you have The Rock and Roman work a match before Mania. I personally would like a tag match between Rock and Roman, Cody and Seth. Now, who takes the fucking pin in that match? Probably no one. They probably end it in a screwy finish somehow.
Like what Joey said, with the Sandman coming out and caning everybody.
But in all reality, the only reason why I would book that match is to make Seth feel important in this whole storyline, because this motherfucker literally is just getting... What's the reject? It's swipe right when you get rejected?
I don't know.
He's getting rejected. He's getting cucked out. I don't even know. I don't even know if I can say that on YouTube, to be honest with you.
He created an elaborate promposal, right? with all the diamonds and the fireworks and everything, and he put his whole fucking pussy into it, man. He really fucking did.
Okay, anyway.
And he just got rejected from it. He's not going to the prom.
Anyway, you do that tag match, it can fucking end in a double count out for all I fucking care. Whatever. That just gives Seth like, oh cool, yeah, whatever. Then at Mania you do Cody and Roman. And then you do Seth versus the Elimination Chamber guy, and The Rock can just fuck off and be on the board and do whatever he's doing on the board. I don't know. And then you save Roman. Because, newsflash, Roman and Rock, yes, it needs to happen, but not for the belt. So save it for Mania 41.
I just don't care enough. I don't care enough about it. Like, I don't know. CM Punk should have never gotten injured.
Also, they should just bring back the Hollywood Rock theme.
Yeah, just for this.
Yes.
Alright. Well, one bullshit fucking situation onto... I don't want to necessarily say another bullshit situation.
This is just funny.
Just something fucking... Not that I necessarily wouldn't have expected.
It's the funniest shit.
But something that's always just fun to see happen. Bret Hart on Vince McMahon.
I literally just added this because when I fucking read it, I started dying. So Bret Hart, I guess recently was like doing an interview or whatever, and they asked him about like the Vince shit. There's other stuff coming out of like this interview. There's like he took a shot at Ric Flair, and Bret Hart was showing off like his Simpsons figure.
Okay.
So there's that, but this is Bret Hart being asked about the whole Vince McMahon thing. I'm going to speak my truth. I'm not worried about Vince's feelings. He never cared about mine. I don't have any problem with everybody kicking his head around the parking lot. I'm okay with the truth coming out. I don't think this is the only incident of this kind of predatory behavior. I think you'll find that it's everywhere in WWE. I always had respect for him. Now it's tainted. I'm embarrassed that I thought so highly of him. Knowing what kind of weirdo he became, I have absolutely zero respect for him. Thus proving, again, Bret Hart was fucking right.
Bret Hart, the OG, I told you so.
That's all I wanted to fucking say.
This is a Bret Hart house.
Thank you, Bret Hart.
This is a Bret Hart house. But going back, still staying with the WWE a little bit, we got a few things to cover on Raw here quickly. The crowd in St. Louis hates The Rock.
Yeah, so does the crowd in North Carolina on SmackDown. It's just everywhere now. That was written on Monday before all of this happened.
The crowd hates The Rock. Anywhere.
They fucking hate The Rock.
Everyone is pissed They've been pissed. Again, I mean, it's a little bit backtracking now because we already discussed the situation, and the situation has come to a temporary close. But
everyone hates The Rock.
Oh, dude, that was fucking insane. Because that was when the fuck Rocky chance or something happened.
It was Rocky sucks. And
Rocky sucks.
Seth Rollins said it best of, is it 1996 again?
I wasn't expecting to hear that tonight.
Yeah,
what the fuck?
Like, oh, man. I loved it.
And the other thing that we're just going to discuss quickly is Lyssie wants the Drew McIntyre shirt.
Yes.
I do want the shirt he was wearing on Raw.
He was wearing it tonight, too.
Oh, was he wearing it tonight, too?
Before he walked in, he came out.
Good. I want WWE to sell that shirt. I don't fucking care. I want that shirt so goddamn bad. It's fucking
They're going to buy the
hysterical.
rights to that meme.
Yeah, honestly, they're going to find the person who made the meme and, like, pay them a hot dollar for it. Like, dude, if WWE came to me and was like, I want to buy your meme.
You gotta find that shirt now, or like that image, and post it.
I'll pop it up in here so they know what shirt I'm talking about. But yeah, no, I fucking love it. It's fucking hilarious. All right, that's literally all we had to talk about for Raw. There was not too much that we really wanted to discuss about that. A little bit more on Dynamite. What the fuck? Why the fuck did you write it like this?
Oh, you don't have to read the parentheses. That was for me to know what I'm talking about when we talk about this.
Okay. So I'll just go with not the parentheses. Swerve versus Hangman. And then along with that, as a side question, did Tony Khan book a double turn? Because we're getting Swerve and Hangman and Joe.
Well, no, that's not a double turn. A double turn is... Did they just turn Swerve face and Hangman heel?
I know that, but I was going into it. You interrupted me. That's rude.
Well, you gotta break down the match first.
We'll get there.
You're horrible at this hosting thing.
We'll get there. So, okay, Swerve versus Hangman, and...
To get to the triple threat, you gotta talk about this match first.
I'm getting there! Why are you interrupting me?
Do your hosting duties.
I'm trying! Alright. Swerve versus Hangman went to a time limit draw. Banger of a fucking match. I don't give a shit. Again, I think I've said this in the past 3 fucking episodes. You put Swerve and Hangman in the ring and I don't give a shit what it's about and what it's for. It's gonna be a great fucking match. I said this to Dylan, I was a little, I don't want to say confused, but a little, like, questioning as to why, like, we had 2 very vicious, bloody fucking matches. And now, like, we have a match with, like, no gimmick to it, really. I think I said stipulation first, but gimmick nonetheless. Of, like, this wasn't like a Texas death match. This wasn't a hardcore match. This was just a one-on-one match. And, of course, you know, whoever wins gets to face Joe. But I was a little like, what? Why is it a normal match? But then I remembered with the promos and everything that it was kind of like, hey, you've always beaten me, Hangman to Swerve, you've always beaten me with the Mogul Embassy and assistance. I want no interferences, I want you, and I want to see who the better man is, basically.
Well, and
Swerve...
also because of the outcome, they kind of just had to book it the way.
Yes.
They needed a time limit. I mean, they could have done a last man standing, and ended it.
Swerve was like, I don't want any fucking interferences, yada, yada, yada. And there was a little bit with Nana on the Crown that maybe possibly he was but he ended up not getting involved. And the Mogul Embassy didn't come out, which led to the time limit draw. And the double turn that had happened where, you know, they did the thing, the match ended at the time limit draw. They're both in their respective corners. And Hangman's like, or not Hangman, I'm sorry, Swerve is like, no. I almost had you. Give me 5 more minutes. And then Hangman was like, LOL, no. And was like, you didn't beat me. You didn't fucking beat me. And then Tony Schiavone stood up and was like, actually, I got Tony Khan in my ear right now, and this isn't done. This is going to be a triple threat at Revolution with Samoa Joe. And Hangman is losing his fucking mind on the ramp, being like, no, he didn't fucking beat me. He didn't beat me. That's not fair. This isn't right. Absolutely not. And all I'm saying is heel Hangman is everything I've been wanting, and I'm so fucking ready for it. And it's great because if Hangman just turned heel from that and Swerve just turned babyface from that, and as it should play out, Swerve should win and get the belt, then that's how we get our babyface champion back. You can talk.
The match? You're supposed to be like Dylan.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dylan, you could talk.
But the match was good. I enjoyed it, but it was like this is the problem I have. We were like halfway through this match, so 15 minutes in, and I was like, it's ending in a draw. It's gonna end in a time limit draw.
I think you actually guessed that before.
Probably.
Because you were like, what if they end this in a draw?
I was like, it's gonna end in a draw because they make it obvious when they're ending in a draw, and I absolutely this is my problem that I have with time limit draws. Time limit draws are great in wrestling when done right. Go watch Samoa Joe and CM Punk from Ring of Honor. 60 minutes. Done right. Fuck. Go watch. I'm trying to think of other time limit draws, but you can find good time limit draw matches. This was a good match. But, Adam Cole and MJF. There's the other one. That was actually pretty good. But, my problem is, and they have that same problem too. AEW needs to do this thing of if they're going to do time limit draws, it deflates the crowd a lot. So what you got to do, the secret, and I've been told this before by numerous people, to do a time limit draw, the best thing to do is book matches that almost go the time limit. Almost. 28 minutes. And then you can book a match that goes 5 minutes. And because when you eventually get that time limit draw, the crowd fucking erupts. And also, AEW does it so bad. They don't do 10 minutes remaining, 5 minutes remaining. You don't know when that gives more of a shock. Like 1 minute remaining, and you see it picking up the pace. Like, fuck, even with 5 minutes remaining, they pick up the pace. There's near falls after near falls after near falls. It just kind of, like, it's just out of nowhere. It's like, ding, ding, bell's done, match is over.
I mean, I disagree. So, I don't fully disagree, but I do disagree. I don't want to necessarily say that they do them bad, because they don't do them often.
Did I say that they were doing them bad? No. I said this is the problem.
I don't think that there's much of a problem with it, I guess, is the better way of putting it.
It is a problem.
Because they don't do them often. I mean, they do them, I guess I should say, more often than what we see on, like, WWE or
WWE doesn't do time limits.
Yeah, they don't do a time limit. So, it's but what I'm saying is
AEW is, like, the only one that does time limits.
But, like, so with the Continental Classics, they did the 5 minutes remaining and whatnot. We heard that a lot. So I don't know why they didn't do it here. I feel like they've done it in other time limit draw matches also, but off the top of my head, I can't really remember. Because that does not register and stay in my brain. I just know for the Continental Classics they did, because I remember when there was the 5 minutes remaining and whatnot. Because there were so many of those matches happening in such quick succession.
They just got to be more clear on shit.
But I mean, I get it. Like, here's the thing. Like, there was a lot. Like, I feel like when MJF and Adam Cole went to, and not the Wembley one, the first time limit draw. When they did a time limit draw on, I think it was Dynamite.
Did they do a time limit draw at Wembley?
Yeah.
They did? I didn't even remember.
We're going till there's a fucking winner in Wembley.
Bro.
Yeah. But then they did like 5 more minutes.
This sounds so sad. This is all I remember from Wembley. Real Glass, Go Cry Me a River, CM Punk versus Samoa Joe, and the Young Bucks versus FTR. That's all I remember from fucking Wembley.
So no, they did 2 time limit draws with Adam Cole and MJF, which I feel like makes sense because of the first match they had was a time limit draw, and still building with their whole storyline and everything of like they couldn't beat each other, and then MJF eventually did win and whatnot, but nonetheless. The first one that they did on Dynamite was really fucking good. You were not expecting it.
Oh, that was perfect.
And I think the only reason I was kind of more so not expecting but could see a time limit draw happening with Hangman and Swerve is kind of because that's how they kind of built it, Like, again, Swerve always had the help. He always had the help. Can he actually beat Hangman? And he didn't. You know what I mean? Like, that, like it made sense in the story that they were going with, which is why it was a little bit more expected. But I feel like every other time limit draw that did happen, I wasn't expecting it. Like, Kenny and Danielson, I wasn't expecting.
I also hate the fact, because this happened also with the MJF and Adam Cole time limit draw. They booked the same fucking finish. Someone hits their finisher with like 5 seconds left and covers them, and the referee's at 2.5, and the bell rings.
That's more recent.
I hate it.
That's more recent. I don't think they did that with Kenny and Danielson.
I
think they were slugging it out in the time limit. I'm
just saying, I hate it. Like, yeah, slug it out. Do something. Or if you're a submission, maybe. If you're a goddamn heel, roll out the fucking ring.
I mean, yeah, but again, it is a little bit more of a recent thing of that's how they've been doing it. But again, I didn't really see like a big problem with it personally. And again, maybe it's just because I was like, oh, it's like that. Yeah, that kind of makes sense as to why they did it, like in this story. But again, maybe that's just me.
Anyway, they booked a triple threat the right way, though. 2 heels and 1 face.
Yeah.
Let's go Swerve.
Yeah, I'm hoping Swerve needs to win this.
Mm-hmm.
As a Hangman stand till the day I die, Swerve needs to win this. And if they don't, if Adam Page or Joe win, like if Joe retains or Adam Page is the new champion,
I will riot.
I'm gonna be pissed.
I'm smoking weed. Sorry.
I'm gonna be fucking pissed. Dylan.
Sorry for microphone users.
Dude.
Or headphone users.
Jesus fucking Christ. Now I forget what I was saying.
Talking about the triple threat. And that Swerve should win.
Yeah.
And fuck Hangman and fuck Samoa Joe.
Not fuck Hangman. It's just it's Swerve's time. And also not fuck Joe. But the thing is, Joe doesn't need to hold the title for long.
No, I just want the belt on Swerve.
I want the belt on Swerve. And he deserves it. He has shown that he fucking deserves it. And honestly, I think him as champion is going to do fucking wonders for the goddamn company. As long as they do it right. Because again, I do think Hangman deserves another reign. He was kind of fucked on his first reign.
And sometimes babyface champions, when you're a babyface and you're a champion, sometimes it doesn't work out the best. Sometimes chasing the title is the better story than when it just happens a lot.
Swerve feels more like the anti-hero here.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, not exactly a face.
How, that's the thing. He's not full-blown babyface, because how can you cheer for a man that broke into another man's house?
How can you cheer for a man that drank another man's blood?
Also, Stone Cold Steve Austin was the most over babyface, and he was fucking stuttering. He was beating the shit out of his boss every
Well, that's why, because in that time frame, everyone wanted to beat up their boss, unless you were me and didn't have a boss, because you were like 7.
I once in kayfabe tried to take over a whole company, broke the owner's neck, and then I was a babyface, and I was like the most over thing for a little bit.
They don't need to hear about our backyard wrestling days.
There's a question about it.
They don't need to hear about it right now.
They're gonna hear about
what
it
they
later.
need to hear about is big business.
Big
business and Mercedes Moné.
We pretty much knew it was gonna happen. Congratulations, it's happening. Cool.
I want to talk about the graphic.
It's actually pretty cool.
I want to talk about the graphic. Because I thought it was very clever that in the background they had Boston, but it was spelled BOSS and the 2 S's were money signs.
No,
like,
it's pretty cute. It's pretty cool. It's gonna be
apparently
it's gonna be a good episode.
Apparently, the tickets for that episode, like, so okay, did they like tell me at least a good? Hold on, that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about sales.
It didn't do bad.
We're not talking about sales.
But it didn't do bad.
I don't know that answer.
Oh, okay.
We're not talking about sales.
I want her to do good. I like Mercedes.
What we're talking about is we've gone to AEW shows. And, you know, we never get ringside seats because they're...
Oh, we're talking about how much they were?
Yes.
I didn't see that.
Well, let me explain to you. They're a little bit out of our budget. We're not,
Well, I wasn't planning on going to Boston. I'm sorry.
That's not what we're talking about. Let me talk about
Around St. Patrick's Day. I ain't going... I'm sorry. Unless Mark Wahlberg's there. Anyway, continue.
So... I was talking to my good friend Christine, who some of you may know as Shining Polaris on Twitter. Also the mother of the Yarn Bucks. Love her. Absolutely love her to death. She is the sweetest person on the fucking planet. She was posting on Twitter and she was messaging me separately about the ticket prices for the Boston show. And she was like, this isn't a pay-per-view. I don't understand it. And from her post, she was posting, like, where she was looking to get the seats, and they were, like, on the ramp. She typically gets front row seats. You know, that's, she could do that. She has the money to do that. That's fucking awesome, and I love that for her. But on the ramp, this wasn't, like, it was on hard cam side, I guess, technically, but, like, it wasn't directly in front of the ring. Hard cam side, you're gonna be on TV type of thing. And again, it's a special show, but it's not a pay-per-view.
It's the first dance.
And for tickets... for the ramp front row were like $600+.
How much were tickets for the first dance?
I don't know. I think she had to have been there. That was in Chicago.
Because, I mean, this isn't the first time that AEW is building a whole show around someone debuting. No,
it's not. But, like, that's just...
which is cool. I like that.
That's just crazy to me that on the ramp side, like on the ramp, again, you're not in front of the ring.
The TD Garden's also a big fucking venue.
I mean, maybe it has just something to do with the venue because, like, I know that when we've looked up, like, tickets to different shows or concerts and whatnot, like, prices vary super heavily from just depending on the venue that they're in. But I don't know, something about that, I was just like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, it's not like overly important to like the conversation of which we're speaking, but she was like, I'm not paying that money to go. Like, I just won't fucking go. Like, fuck that. Which I agree, fuck that. I wouldn't fucking pay that money to go. Like, I mean, sure, again, we always get the cheaper seats, you know what I mean? But like, if I was looking to do front row, like, goddamn, fuck that shit. Like, no thank you. But again, that doesn't really have much to do with anything. I just kind of wanted to throw that in there. Nonetheless, it's going to be awesome to see her in AEW, and I'm excited, and I hope that they just actually fucking do something good with her, and she's going to be such a fucking asset to the women's division there. But along with great, awesome, fun, fantastic, love it news, congratulations to Darby and Sting for winning the tag team championships.
Sting booked himself to win a belt. No, news supposedly broke. Like, I was reading it today. Sting didn't want to, but then when he pretty much got the say to do it and everything, like, they were like, yeah, you're fucking winning this. And he was all happy about it and everything.
Well, that's cool.
But
that's awesome.
Sting and Darby are tag team champions. It should have happened way sooner, but...
oh, yeah. It's long overdue.
But, like, cool. They're going to get a cool month reign, and the EVPs are going to book themselves to win the tag belts, which I can't complain because, oh, have I lived that life 946,000 times and booked those types of stories before.
3 times. 3-time champions.
Yeah, they're going to be 3-time
3-time champions.
That's crazy.
Because, I mean, look... again, not to have a bias here, I think it would be really fucking stupid if they didn't win them and Darby and Sting retained them at Revolution.
Well, yes,
and Sting's retiring at Revolution. Like,
Sting's gotta lose. He's the one. He's gonna take the pin too.
Oh, who do you think pins him?
Both of them.
You think Matt and Nick are both gonna pin him?
Both of them.
That would be such a bitchy move.
Both of
them.
them.
I hope that's what happens. I really hope that's
what
happens.
Or like one pins Sting and one pins Darby.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
But I feel like Sting will look at it as Darby's gonna be here on Wednesday. I'm not anymore, so It's okay if I get pinned and he doesn't.
I wonder if after Sting retires, if he's going to like completely step away from the business, or if he's gonna like take on like a backstage role, like maybe a trainer or something.
No, he's gonna probably step away from the business and watch him become like a priest or something, because he is a man of God.
I'll start going to church.
He's a man.
I'll find that church and I'll go.
He's gonna do some weird. He's gonna have some weird wrestling afterlife.
Just give him a podcast. Give Sting a podcast.
They're coming out with a Dark Side of the Ring podcast where like it's unheard stories and shit.
Oh, I like that.
I've never been more hyped for a podcast in my life.
Yeah, that sounds great. That sounds fun.
This episode is fucking
all over the place.
This episode is garbage because I'm high as fuck.
It's garbage because you decided you're gonna hack up a lung in the microphone. But
this episode has been fucked to begin with.
Congratulations to Darby and Sting. Super fucking cool, super fucking awesome, and I'm very excited to see their match with the Young Bucks, of course, as I always am excited that has anything to do with them. But yeah, so on to the more so questionnaire part of this.
We're doing questions.
So we got some questions from some people that we know IRL.
Yeah, some questions are aimed at both of us, and some questions are aimed at me, because it's like certain people just randomly were like just directing it towards me, so I was like, okay, I guess
I'll put in a 2 cents, but for the most part, some of these I can't really answer too much on. So we'll start with number 1. This is more so directed at Dylan, but I'll give a little 2 cents into this. How much money do you think your mom spent on wrestling merchandise when you were younger?
A lot. I can't pinpoint how much.
You have to. That's the question.
I don't fucking know. Over 100. I know that.
That's way too low. Way too low.
No, my mom bought me so much shit, like from wrestling figures to wrestling shirts to DVDs and stuff. And like, also, this isn't even like part of the question, but I forget what grade it was. I think it was 3rd. I had this teacher, and like there was a bunch of us that were like really into wrestling and stuff. But I had to get tutored. I forget for what. I was dumb.
No.
I was dumb.
No.
But I had to get tutored, but you did great. Good job. Her sons had a bunch of like wrestling merchandise, and I would get to pick out a DVD like once a week.
Oh, that's cool.
And like other kids did too, but I always got like first dibs on shit. So like I would pick out like that's where I got I had a shitload of wrestling DVDs. Like I had ECW One Night Stand in there, and I discovered a lot of stuff too. Like, but I would pick out shit. I would fucking look through this tote that she had and would be like, okay, Royal Rumble 2006, what's on this? Flip it over to the back and read the matches and be like, fuck yeah, John Cena versus Edge, this is mine. And I got to keep them. But going back to my mom, yeah, she spent a lot of money. There was a lot of Christmases I asked for wrestling stuff. And yeah.
I mean, I can't say too much, especially when I was younger, because recently I started collecting wrestling stuff, but when I was a kid, even though I watched it and like played the games and whatnot, it was predominantly my brother who got like all the figures and stuff and whatnot in the games and everything. Like it was mostly his stuff. So my brother has a shit ton of like loose figures. I think maybe still at my dad's house. I don't really know if he's moved them into his house or not. But like a toy box that was just filled to the brim, like those little plastic cubbies filled with them, like an absolute asinine amount. I had a couple t-shirts. Like I had a bunch of like CM Punk shirts and everything.
A lot of shirts.
But like I didn't really have like too much. It was predominantly my brother, but I would say that they well spent over probably over $5,000 on my brother. Like easy, if not more than that. Like he had so much fucking shit. Along with the same question comes in question number 2 as to how many wrestling rings did your mom buy you, and did she replace them when you broke them?
Thanks, Mom, for asking that question. At least 2 of them. I don't know how many I exactly broke. We're talking about the toy rings.
Not actual wrestling rings.
I broke quite a few rings in my life, especially real wrestling rings. But no, I broke.
Sorry, Bryce.
Yeah, sorry, Bryce. I broke a couple boards on your ring a few times. As is everyone. But the toy rings, yeah, I broke quite a few. Just from being an idiot kid. I remember like the one I broke was I decided to put a bunch of wrestlers in there, like all at once, like I don't know, like a 50-man battle royal, threw them all in there, and like the turnbuckle thing snapped, like they snapped off. The one I'm not gonna lie, I can say it now because I won't get in trouble. I broke one on purpose. For the sole reason of, this is when I discovered the infamous Taz and Bam Bam Bigelow going through the ring. And I wanted to recreate that with my toys. So, I just, the one time my mom wasn't home and I knew where the hammer was. I needed to break this hard plastic. So I took a hammer to the ring one time, Mom.
At least you didn't like... Well, you just said you were dumb, so you probably wouldn't have thought about this. At least you didn't, like, heat up a knife and, like, just try and, like, gimmick the ring and, like, cut the plastic and melt it so that way you could just slam it.
Yeah,
At
no,
least
I
you
didn't do
take
that.
a knife and, like, heat
No,
it
like,
up.
I was just trying to crack the fucking ring so I can do it. And then I finally, and this is before they made the ones where, like, now they make rings where they break. They can break and shit.
Yeah, my brother had a couple of them.
So, like, this was before that. But, yeah, yeah, no, she bought me quite a few rings. The best ring that she ever bought me, it was the Money in the Bank ring, where it was the ring, and you had to set up this contraption around it, and you can hang the briefcase and shit. It was cool.
I mean, I can't say much. I did also, like, intentionally break things as a child, but, like, I had a much more malicious intent about it. Like, I was a fucking dick of a kid.
I was just trying to book shit, bro.
Yeah, no, I was an asshole kid, and, like...
I was just trying to play wrestling, man.
This is such a shitty thing to talk about, but we're gonna talk about it anyway.
Ooh, spooky.
When the first... I told you this story before. You know this story. I think I told you this. When the first DS came out...
Oh, boy.
I got it. Like, I like, immediately got it. Me and my brother were always big gamers and whatnot, so when this DS came out, we had to fucking have it, right? Played this thing all the fucking time. And, then the DS Lite came out. And all of my friends had the DS Lite. I still had the regular DS. And, you know, I asked my parents if I can get a DS Lite. And they were like, well, no, yours is fine. Like, you don't need another one. Like, what's the fucking difference? And literally, as an adult still who collects handhelds, what's the fucking difference? It was a different shape, whatever. So I was pissed. I was fucking pissed because all of my friends were running around with the new DS Lite and I still had the clunky old one. And I think it was in like 4th or 5th grade when this happened. And I was like, fuck it. I'm going to break this bitch. So I took it to school. And after this, me and my brother weren't allowed to take our things to school because I lied. I took it to school. And at recess, I snapped it in half.
Oh, you're an asshole.
I snapped the top screen off from the bottom screen.
What a dick.
And I came home.
I would never.
And I said I, like, dropped it or something. Or, like, I blamed another kid for it or something stupid.
Fucking
Like,
kids.
I was like, I didn't do it. And then my parents told me I wasn't allowed to take my game systems to school anymore because either, you know, I was careless with it and dropped it or some other kid broke it or whatever. But I got a DS Lite.
Every story has a happy ending.
And I would never do that now. Like, I was such a fucking brat of a child. Like, I was terrible. The fact that my dad didn't, like, fucking kill me is honestly, like, a miracle. Because my brother was such a goody two-shoes, such a good fucking kid, and I was just the nightmare fuel. Like, the spawn of Satan.
You still are.
I was
What do you
terrible.
mean?
So, like, you know, I mean, but I would never do that now. Now, as I'm older, I understand monetary value of shit. And I also understand that my parents gave me way more than I could have ever fucking asked for. So, you know, but as, like, a fucking kid who's just envious of everyone. Yeah, so I was a dick. But let's go into a question that I can kind of answer. What are your top 5 finishes of all time? Your top 5 favorite finishers. Not finishes, finishers.
I'm going first.
Yeah, you go first because I think I only have 2.
Fuck, man. Okay.
Maybe 3.
Okay, I got this. All right.
And they're all biased.
Number 1, Burning Hammer.
Okay.
Number 2, the Pepsi Plunge.
Okay.
I did it for a reason, goddammit.
Continue.
Number 3, the Assault Driver.
Okay.
Which is like the One Wing Angel, but
Yeah.
Sick Nick Mondo's version. I really love the Assault Driver. Number 4, the Clothesline from Hell.
Okay.
JBL's Clothesline from Hell. Motherfucker takes motherfuckers' heads off.
That's fair.
Goddamn. And number 5, a Pile Driver.
Okay. All right. So I don't think I really have a top 5. Honestly, well, I guess, you know what, you saying a pile driver, it kind of falls into this. Because I was going to say, honestly, because I feel like a lot of moves that were once finishers are not finishers anymore. That's terrible. Something that just popped up on the news. But, so, my absolute number 1, and I don't even know if I would, I mean, I would definitely say this is my top favorite finisher, but this is also just my favorite move of all time, is the Blue Thunder Bomb. That is such a cool fucking move. Like, it's so fucking cool. It's devastating. I love it. It's incredible. Number 2 is more bang for your buck.
More bang for your fuck.
More bang for your buck. Not the Meltzer Driver. I don't hate the Meltzer Driver.
Not the Indie Taker.
Not the Indie Taker.
That's my favorite Young Buck
because
move, I'm not gonna lie.
I think more bang for your buck. It's just flashy. It's flashy as fuck.
More bang for your suck.
And I love it. Number 3. I don't know. Like, you know what? I'll throw the buckshot in there because along with what you say about Lariat from Hell,
Clothesline
from Hell,
not a lariat,
but
there's a difference.
There is a difference. But I'll still like kind of go on to this with the same topic of like a clothesline and a lariat can both be devastating fucking moves, and I think after I just said the Blue Thunder Bomb and more bang for your buck, I think it is important to have something that is seemingly simplistic of a move made into a devastating finisher. Absolutely. Which is why, I'll also toss in there the DDT. Because the DDT as a finish, which is now just a random fucking move that people use, like, it's same thing with a pile driver. You're getting dropped on your head. That's it. That should be the end of the fucking match.
Exactly.
Absolutely should be the end of the fucking match. And then to kind of go on to another reign, I'll put, what was it? What Ospreay did to Omega, the Tiger Driver 91?
Yeah.
7? 91 or 97?
Yeah.
Whichever one that was. Specifically.
The one where you fucking just get dropped on your fucking head.
The one where I quite literally, my breath was taken from me. That's just insane. Absolutely insane. I will say for confidence, those top 2, hands fucking down. Everything else is just kind of a mishmash of just moves and finishers I like.
That's why I'm just putting Burning Hammer at number 1 because what a fucking move.
Yeah.
What a move.
Yeah, no, agreed. Oh, the Muscle Buster. That's a good one, too.
But man, nothing's topping a Burning Hammer. You're getting dropped right on your fucking dome.
Yeah, and again, that should be the finish, You're getting knocked the fuck out.
Would I ever take one? Hell no.
And, a good submission finisher is also good. I love when a match ends in a submission.
The best submission finisher that I like is the cattle mutilation.
That's fair.
That is my favorite one. I also just enjoyed the good old claw. Good old claw. I
like the which this isn't a finish, but just to say as a submission move. I guess it could be. The surfboard.
Surfboard's cool.
I don't care if it hurts. I don't care. Every time I see it, I feel like it looks like fun. And yeah, I like it. So this is another one that's kind of more towards you. But what or who or both inspired you to become a wrestler, backyard, and going into pro wrestling school?
God damn. The inspiration was a lot of Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, I see that.
a lot of Jeff Hardy, a lot of CM Punk, and the superhero wrestlers, referring back to episode 1, Hayabusa, Liger, Mysterio, stuff like that. CM Punk more so was like the inspiration for like going pro of like, this average Joe can do it, maybe I can. Obviously it didn't work out for me, but that's okay.
You at least tried it.
I tried it at least. But like, yeah, and just watching wrestling, like I it's really hard to pinpoint like the big like reason for it. Like I just fucking always watched wrestling. It was always a part of my like life. Fuck it. That's
fair. I'll put a little bit of a 2 cents in here, even though I wasn't a wrestler. I did temporarily do like a manager role for you and our good friend Bryce. And I mean, I wanted to be a part of the backyard wrestling stuff just because it seemed like a lot of fun. It seemed like fun to do things with my friends and whatnot. It seemed like,
how wrong
interesting.
Were you?
I was very wrong. And also, like, I enjoyed, doing it with you and being, like, literally ringside with you at your matches and whatnot, and, enjoyed.
You added
with
much.
Bryce.
You added so much to mine and Bryce's, like, tag team, but you also, when it was just me and you added so much to the matches itself and the stories of the matches of, like, the most infamous story is the great we can't really go into much about it because I don't know who listens to this and it's not uploaded yet, but the upcoming NUW Graves feud with Dilvon, because that's coming up soon. I can't go much into it. I don't want to spoil anything or whatnot, but it's a really cool fucking feud.
And it was a lot of fun working with Graves. I miss him a lot. I wish he didn't live so far away. I wish he was like our next door neighbor because he's just a good dude. But it was really fun working with him. Again, I won't say too much about it, but there was a lot of concern in a moment that had happened. And more so specifically because he drove us. And I mean, of course I was worried about his well-being, but I was like, this motherfucker just drove us here. And, I'm very scared right now.
Check out NUW, Newburgh Underground Wrestling.
Yeah, great people.
They have Roulette Rumble coming up soon.
But yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. And I appreciate that, you, Bryce, and Graves all gave me like an amount of free reign with it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like you helped me along the way with it, but you were kind of just like, do your thing. I don't really know if I necessarily had any sort of like direction I was going in with it. I mean, I always loved Jimmy Hart. But I feel like I didn't really channel much of a Jimmy Hart. I kind of just like added enough into it and like kind of added like a level of
it was
like
a different
threat, I guess.
It was a different dynamic of what we did, because not to like stroke my own ego or anything, but like a manager's duty is usually the talking role or something.
Yeah.
I was able to talk. Bryce was obviously able to talk. You were able to talk too.
Oh, I love talking.
And like we didn't use you as like a fucking like distraction piece of like, oh, beautiful girl type of thing.
Oh, thanks.
You more so were like a distraction piece of like
inconvenience.
I'm gonna be an inconvenience. I'm gonna help him. I'm gonna do whatever.
Which that's one of my favorite things to do, is to be an inconvenience. Like
yes.
I was there to just be a bitch, and that's something I'm very good at being. So it worked well. And then eventually I decided I was gonna step away, and I ended up doing camera work. So I was behind the camera filming stuff because I have more of an artistic eye. And I felt like I would have done a really good job with it. And I feel like, not to stroke my own ego, I feel like I did a really good job filming. And
you saved so many headaches of shitty camera angles.
Thank you. I appreciate that. There was a couple times I hecked up. There's a couple times I got some things I definitely shouldn't have.
I can point out horrible camera angles when I see them. And by God.
But there was definitely
Lyssie has saved us.
a couple oopsies there, which happens. You know, it's unpredictable, so it is what it is. But for the most part, I think I did a really good job with it. And going into this still kind of a little bit more, which I'm definitely putting my 2 cents into this one. If you could have one dream match with, okay, I know who typed this, and I'm not saying that. If you had one dream match with any wrestler, who would it be and why? This person typed superstar, and I know who typed this one. I'm not saying that, buddy. They're called wrestlers.
Superstar.
Superstars.
Hayabusa 100%.
Why?
Cause it's fucking Hayabusa, bro. I get to face Hayabusa, bro.
That's it?
Yes.
That's your whole thought process into this.
I get to live my boyhood dream of wrestling Hayabusa.
I put a lot of thought into mine.
I would wrestle Hayabusa 100%. Also, the Hayabusa just because, but like in all reality, Punk would be a good one.
Okay.
Storyline wise, the typical. I would kind of take a page out of what he did with Raven and kind of do like that storyline, but also like I looked up to, and the same thing with Darby, kind of like I looked up to you. Type of thing. Even MJF, like, I looked up to you where I needed you the most, you left. Type of thing. Like, that would be a cool story. Also, a very, like, heartfelt, like, soap opera driven story I would do, if he was okay with it, would be a Jeff Hardy story of, like, Jeff, like, it wouldn't be like, Jeff, we're gonna bring up shit, but, like, we don't need, depending on it, but I'd be like, Jeff, I looked up to you as a kid, and even through all of your faults of addiction and all of that, that made me look up to you even more. And you can go so many ways with that line. You can get so much heat of like, and I turned out just better than you. I never touched a single drug in my, like, you can do that. Or you can be like, that caused me to be the person I am today, to be the best version of myself, and I want to wrestle the best version of Jeff Hardy, and that is this version of Jeff Hardy because he's clean and sober and all that. You can do so much with it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you said all 3 of those names so I don't sound like an unbiased, stupid fucking mark when I say Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
And it's not because he's pretty. I have legitimate reasons for this. So Kenny is, I don't want to say notoriously known, but he is, you know, it is well known that Kenny Omega has wrestled many intergender matches. Yes. He's wrestled women over in Japan. I'm sure there's been some stuff in the States and whatnot. He is very well versed in this. And I mean, I could pick a woman to wrestle. Don't get me wrong.
If you had to pick a woman, who would it be?
That's a tough one.
Because if I had to pick, I'd pick... I'm not trying to be fucking weird. But, like, if we're doing an intergender match, Lita or Trish Stratus.
Oh, Lita would be a good one.
Because Lita would just be cool to do. Because I'd be, like, wrestling Jeff a lot. Kind of like Jeff a lot. But also... I stole some moves from Trish Stratus before. Might as well.
Lita would be a good one. But I feel like, you know, also I would probably hold a little bit more of a bias again, and I'd probably go with Hikaru Shida. I want a hard-hitting woman. You know what I mean? If I'm going into this, I want someone that's gonna fuck me up. And I'll take a kendo stick shot from her any fucking day. But going back to Kenny. Going back to Kenny. He is well versed in it. He also helps a lot with the women's division and has helped train women before. And I feel like he would be incredibly safe to work with. And also, I feel like I could pull out the comedy side of Kenny. Because we're both nerds. We are both huge fucking anime nerds, huge fucking video game nerds. I feel like him and I would have just such a good time doing some stupid, funny bullshit that we could toss in there while also, like, him carrying me to a great fucking match. Because also, I don't know the first fucking thing about wrestling, and I think that Kenny's been around the block a couple times, and he has carried people to matches so fucking seamlessly that if you're in the ring with him, you're gonna have a good match. So not only would it be a good match, it would be a fun match, and I feel like we would have a really good time planning it out, hanging out, doing the thing, you know what I mean? I feel like overall he would be a really fucking good person to wrestle. So yeah.
You think putting together a match is a fun time?
I think me and Kenny would have a fun fucking time. We'll bring back the Kamehameha thing.
The only time I ever had fun putting together a goddamn match was either with Bryce or Corey.
Look, I want to do the same fucking shit that Kenny and Danielson did with the John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt thing.
Fun
and just start fucking, dancing and singing. And I want to do that shit. I want to bring out the funny Kenny. And I think that would be a lot of fun. I think it would be great. I know who asked this, and I can't answer it. I mean, I can, but I can't. 100% top 5 favorite belt designs.
Oh my god!
I know the mark that asked this fucking question.
Number 1 would easily be the NWA 10 pounds of gold. We're gonna have to put up pictures.
Oh god, yeah.
So the NWA 10 pounds of gold. World Heavyweight title. Beautiful. Number 2 would be the Smoky Mountain Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship. Number 3 would be Big Gold. Okay. Not the new one, the original. Big Gold. Number 4 would be the ECW Championship that they used from 96 to 2001 to 2006 to 2008. The really cool looking one. And number 5 would be the ECW tag team titles that they used like towards the end of the run. That looked like the DCW title that we used. So yeah, that would... Honorable mention, the Juggalo Championship Wrestling title, because it's just fucking cool. Okay. And the spinner belt.
All right. So, number 1 is the ECW World Championship belt.
The same one.
The same one.
Okay.
The same one. That is my favorite fucking belt design. Here's the thing. I'm a sucker for color on belt. Like, I love it. I love it so much. Now, it's kind of tough to, like, really, go because I don't really, like... I don't really pay a whole hell of a lot of attention. I'm not gonna fucking lie. But I'm not sure if any of these... No, this next one's gonna be in order because why the fuck wouldn't it be the Super Kick Party belt? Because it's stupid and I love it. And I really fucking want a replica of it. Really fucking bad. It's just silly. I don't know. I love stuff like that. There's actually gonna be another one that comes to my brain. That's along the lines with that. The number 3, the AEW Tag Team Championships. I don't know why I love those belts so much. I really don't. Again, I know there's like, I don't know. There's something about them. It's just simple. It's straightforward. And I just think that they look fucking great. Like, I think they look fantastic. Number 4, I will put the Rated R spinner belt.
Yeah.
Because, that's a good one. That's a good one. And now number 5, this isn't I don't know, should I add this? Because it's not a real belt.
What belt is it? Neither is the Super Kick belt.
Well, okay, that was used and on screen.
I don't care. Anyway, what belt?
I was gonna say the one belt maker that made those FTR belts. That was like limited to 10.
Oh yeah.
The Living Legends belt?
Yeah.
Because they are fucking beautiful, and honestly, I'm really mad I didn't have the money to buy them. I mean, there was only 10 made that were handmade, they were expensive. Not saying it wasn't worth it. They were just expensive.
Yeah.
So I couldn't afford it. But I think about them a lot. Like a lot more than I should. And they just looked so fucking nice. And again, like that's not like a belt that was ever on TV or anything. I mean, to my knowledge, I don't know if FTR ever like showed them off or anything.
Dax did on his podcast before.
Yeah, but like it's not like it's like I would argue the Super Kick Party belt was a little bit different. But I really don't know what else I would put in place of that. I mean, I really like the House of Black version of the trios belts. If you want to say we could flip flop those. And just have the FTR one as an honorable mention. But I really liked those. Like, I really fucking liked those. They looked sick as shit. But yeah, I guess that's just the top 5 that really came to my head. So, maybe my thoughts will change later on in life. But I know 1 and 2 are definitely accurate. Dylan?
Yes.
What are your thoughts on Ezekiel Jackson? And why is that in here?
There'll be no stopping me. Because when you go hard on someone, this right here is domination. Ezekiel Jackson's great, bro.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Bryce.
Moving on. First favorite match and your favorite current match.
Oh, God.
Did I say that right? Yeah. First favorite match and your favorite current match.
Okay.
We did discuss our favorite... Well, maybe not current. No, I guess that was our overall favorite matches.
Alright. So... My first favorite match... It's weird how I'm going to word this. So... Like, the match that I consider my favorite of all time is Bret Hart versus Owen Hart from WrestleMania 10.
Okay.
So, like... But if I have to recall, like, the first match when I was, like, a kid and was like, man, this match is, like, cool as fuck. Jeff Hardy versus Rob Van Dam from SummerSlam 2001 in a ladder match. Going back to that teacher that I always got DVDs from and everything, I got SummerSlam 2001, and that match was on it. And that match is so good. It still holds up to this day. They had a really good fucking match at the Invasion pay-per-view too, but this ladder match was really cool. And then also as like a tiebreaker from like my childhood, because I just thought it was the most wildest shit at the time. I was like, what the fuck? Mind you, I was like 8. John Cena versus Randy Orton from Bragging Rights. They had a 60-minute Iron Man match, anything goes. And to me as a kid, I was like, they're gonna go 1 hour? What? And the match was insane. But like my current favorite match, Dax Harwood versus Cash Wheeler from AEW Dynamite.
Okay.
And we got to see that live.
Okay.
And that's probably the fucking reason why I still like it to this day.
So, I don't really know if I have a first favorite match. Because I don't really know if I paid attention enough of like specific matches to recall in my childhood. My memory is fucked. Really fucking bad. But I can at least say that any matches I was like head over heels down for when I was a kid typically involved either Edge or Tajiri. Like if Tajiri was on my fucking TV screen, I was like, that's my guy.
Tajiri was nuts.
That's my fucking guy. Same thing with Edge. So I can't really recall a specific match from my childhood that like roped me in so fucking much to really pinpoint it or to say it. However, I can say my favorite current match, which well, you know what? No, Cash and Dax were a little bit ago, so I feel like it's a little bit further back, but I'll still say current. Just because of what it did for me, which, was the Young Bucks and the Lucha Brothers steel cage match at All Out. Was it All Out?
Yeah.
Yeah, All Out.
That's fair.
Because that roped me back in. That was the match that roped me back in. And, I mean, it was bloody, it was fucked, there was that thumbtack shoe, and it was just incredible. And, at the time, right call was made, Lucha Brothers went over and won, which is cool. But that is the match that, like, I really thank for giving me my love of wrestling back. And even though it's not my favorite match of all time, which we've discussed previously in the first episode of the podcast, is Hangman Adam Page versus Kota Ibushi from Ring of Honor. Just because I don't know why, something about that match, just phenomenal. I would say favorite current match would be that, even though it was a while ago. But yeah. Dylan, is this a real question, or did you write this?
Which one?
Which one? Can we eventually get an episode on Danny Vallow's backyard?
Oh no, that was a
wrestling
legit
career?
question. That was a legit question.
Who sent this in?
I can't say names on the podcast.
Tell me later. Oh, okay. All right. So can we eventually get an episode on Danny Vallow's backyard wrestling career? And along with that, is Danny Vallow really done with wrestling?
An episode on my whole career? Goddamn.
That's a long time. 10 years of backyard wrestling?
Well, we wouldn't go through day by day fucking shit. We would
Your backyard wrestling career.
We would go through the important shit. That's the thing. The episode could happen, like the offer's on the table. Lyssie would just have to be the host and search, because I ain't searching shit.
Well, then it's not happening. I'm not. You know it better than I do.
If anything, I wouldn't want to do like a whole fucking let's break down my whole career type of thing. I would rather you just like play 21 questions with me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, honestly, that's probably like the best outcome out of that, is like we just do one of these fucking segments again, but it's just questions regarding my backyard wrestling career.
And are you really done with wrestling? Should I answer this or should you?
So, am I really done with wrestling? In ring, like taking bumps? Yes. Am I open to do like be someone's manager? Depends who it is. Depends what company it is. Depends who I'm dealing with. Cause I'm gonna sound like I'm ripping off someone, but I'm sick and tired of working with fucking children.
Yeah, that's the thing with backyard wrestling, is there's a lot of fucking... There's too much ego for backyard wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, you're not...
I might be showing it too with my answers, but it's the fucking truth.
Also, a little side note really quick before we continue. Put on Rampage, because I want to see the Young Bucks.
Oh yeah, SmackDown just ended.
Yeah, put on fucking Rampage.
Randy Orton moved on to Elimination
I don't care about
Chamber.
anything else. I heard that the Young Bucks are wrestling in the suits.
You're getting people are gonna get a live reaction from Rampage.
I will do my best.
Why are we
to
doing a live?
Contain myself.
This has turned.
You wanted to record it today.
This has turned into because as we're recording the Super Bowl's in 2 days, so our whole recording schedule is completely fucked up.
But yes, as per also my little bit of a say, Dylan is done in ring wrestling.
Yeah, no, I'm done. I'm done in ring.
Well, you broke your foot, but that had nothing to do with wrestling. That was an isolated incident.
Yes.
That was something completely separate. However, he broke his foot, and that sucked having to deal with. From
I wrestled on it too.
He did wrestle on. We didn't know it was broken, so I'll give a little bit of a quick rundown.
Don't go into full detail as to what happened.
We're not going into crazy detail. What I will say is Dylan fell down a flight of concrete stairs. And he tripped and fell, and he broke his foot. And we had a backyard wrestling show to go to with Graves the next day. And
this wasn't technically a backyard wrestling show.
No, this is a wrestling show. But we had a show to go to the next day. And this was, mind you, at midnight 30. And we were waiting on Graves.
Don't talk about the match.
We're not going to talk about anything to do with that. I'm not going to go into crazy detail. But basically what had happened was he showed up like 30 minutes after this happened. So we're like literally like he missed the whole thing.
I texted him and was like, "Bro, you missed it. My foot. This happened. My foot hurts. I'm okay though."
So he ends up coming like a half hour after this shit fucking happens. And what is this? What's happening? Oh, okay, never mind. And so we're up in our apartment and we're examining Dylan's foot, and it's like swollen and it's a little bruised, but like it didn't look like something was extremely wrong. Like, something was wrong.
It just felt like I kicked someone's head without, like, padding on my foot.
Yeah.
Without
like,
a kick pad.
And so anyway, he was able to walk. He was walking on it.
I had a slight limp, but, like, I was able to walk.
And you weren't in excruciating pain. You didn't feel like anything broke. You were just like, my foot's sore. My foot hurts.
Yeah.
So anyway, we go to this show. Dylan wrestles a full match on this fucking foot.
Did some crazy shit,
Did some crazy fucking shit on this goddamn foot. And, you know, he's like, it hurts a little bit more. But I just wrestled on it. You know, I bruised it. So, you know, we're thinking he bruised the bone. That's what we're thinking happened.
And mind you, I had kick pads on as I'm wrestling. So if it was more so like a cast on my foot to begin with.
Yeah.
And I didn't even... I don't have the raw footage to this match. I need to get it. But, I mean, it's going to be uploaded in a few months or whatever, so I'm just waiting for it. I have not seen this match back yet. But if I am right, like, they'll only go into, like, slight detail. I think we did a pretty good job of staying away from my foot. Yeah. I remember telling Corey, I was like, just please stay away from it. I think, like, the only thing I did, because it was out of a force of just me doing it all the time, was I hit a curb stomp with the foot.
Yeah.
But, like, didn't put a lot of pressure on it.
But anyway, so he wrestles on this thing, get back home, still, like, kind of fine and dandy, like, again, like, shit, my foot hurts.
My mom's gonna kill me if she hears this.
But then the next day, you're like, okay, something's wrong, this bruising hasn't really gone down, my foot's still swollen, like, maybe I should go get this checked out. So you went, you got it checked out, and you broke it in 5 places or something?
Yeah, it was broken in 5 places.
It was fucked. Like, his whole foot was fucked.
It was a mangled mess.
It was a mangled mess. But, like, realistically, now, granted, you never broke a bone up until this point.
I never broke a bone.
And I've never broken a bone in my life.
Crazy.
So, neither of us had any idea. And even Corey was just like, I don't really know. Like, none of us knew. And again, he was walking on it fine. But yeah, no, he broke his foot in 5 different places. So he was out for a while. Wasn't able to go to work for a couple weeks until you were off the crutches. And then you're able to go back with the boot and whatnot. So my point in all this is financially, that was terrible. Awful. Literally terrible.
I'd rather break my foot again than dislocate my elbow.
Yeah.
Though, not gonna lie.
Going into it, the time you really injured yourself wrestling was you dislocated your elbow from hitting it off of the ropes.
Yeah, I did a backflip and yeah.
So basically what happened, if you are familiar, which we're not going to post photos or anything like that, but if you're familiar with Ray Phoenix dislocating his elbow,
yeah,
that's exactly what happened.
You weren't there for that either.
I wasn't, but just from the expressed concern from everyone them telling me what happened.
It was the Ray Phoenix elbow injury.
Yeah.
That's
so
what it was.
He dislocated his elbow and was out of work for a month?
No, it was longer.
Longer than that.
I was out for 6 to 8 weeks with my broken foot because I was on the crutches, but once I was off the crutches, I was able to go back in the boot.
Yeah.
This, I needed to be completely out of the sling and be able to lift more.
Oh, yeah.
They put me on light duty when I came back, but
you were out of the cast and everything.
Yeah, but it literally... I couldn't do anything. They were like, you can't come to work.
Yeah, he was out for a while, and that, again, financially was terrible. So, it's more so along the lines of, like, I don't want to tell Dylan not to wrestle because it makes him happy. I want to tell Dylan not to do this because if he gets hurt again, our bills can't fucking compromise for it. Like, we don't make enough. And, now, granted, for your foot, you were getting short-term disability. And you were getting a little bit of paychecks. We won't go crazy into it, but we didn't have a whole hell of a lot of help.
Yeah.
Even with that though, even with your foot, stuff was, you were getting, money and whatnot. It was still so fucking hard. You know what I mean?
And also just for the fact of seeing your elbow, just seeing your whole arm completely bend the other fucking way. Yeah, it kind of fucked me up a little bit.
Yeah.
And like I don't put fault on the guy that I was in the ring with when I got injured or anything.
It was an accident.
It was an accident. It literally was a freak accident, but also freak accident. I did it off of backflipping off of him. What if I landed on my neck? Like, that's kind of the way I look at, like, this is gonna sound like very like dark and stuff, but since we're doing questions and stuff, little like peel back is, people look at me weird. Like, this is the best explanation I can do it. I'll do it in wrestling terms, and I'll also do it in other terms too. People look at me weird when I go, Kurt Cobain is like a role model to me.
Yeah.
Why is a guy that committed S, I can't say the exact word on here, but committed S and a former drug addict, a role model for you? Well, he was a creative genius for number one.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Creative genius for number one. Also, just his moral on life and everything, number two. But number three, I looked up to a guy that had these problems, and I learned of like, wow, like, he's not around anymore because of X, Y, and Z. I want to be around, but I look up to this guy. Don't be like, I don't want to say like don't be like him, but don't end up like him. Like, he would probably, wherever you go when you die or whatever, he's looking up, down,
left or right.
Left or right. He's looking at me, probably saying, I want you to do better than what I did.
Yeah.
No matter what you're doing. And to put that in wrestling terms, I look up to Hayabusa, a man that paralyzed himself in the ring. I don't want that to happen to me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want that to happen to me. So,
and I don't want that to happen to you either. And we got lucky with the injuries and that you're fine now.
Yeah. And also just like long-term effects like CT and stuff like that. Like, I don't want to be dealing with that. So like, if I was just doing it backyard and everything, it was going to come to a stop sooner than later.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it was just kind of like a weird, like, not to sound all spiritual and everything, but like a weird sign of like, hey, maybe you should slow down.
Yeah.
And stuff. But like I said, I'm not, like, in ring, yes, like, I'm never going to lace up a pair of boots again. I'm never going to get in a ring and wrestle again. I'm never going to do that. But if like an offer came of like, hey, you want to do commentary on a show, or like, hey, you want to, like, new federation, we want to be the GM,
yeah,
or like, you want to help book, maybe not, but maybe not that,
never
but
again.
Or do you want to, like, hey, do you want to live your dream being Jim Cornette and be a fucking manager? Absolutely, I'm down for that and everything. So for the people that are asking, I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, that is what it is.
But an episode on my career, maybe in the future. Who knows?
And we're gonna get into the last question, which is a little bit of a long one, but we'll go through it as fast as we can, I guess, basically, just because it's a big one. So I realize now, after, I mean, we both kind of did this, so you'll see as we get into it the wording of this. So I'm gonna change it a tiny bit. Ideal Royal Rumble match from any era, any person. Now, me and Dylan decided, more so Dylan decided, that it would probably be better if we split this in half and he took 15 and I took 15 instead of
trying to figure out 30 people with one brain cell of us each.
Because figuring out 15 to begin with was enough of a oof.
Mine,
you know what I mean?
I straight up told you, mine literally was the first 15 that came to mind, but then I think did I change one? Yeah, I did change one because I saw your list.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, if you're adding a female, I'm going to add a female too. So
initially, this was ideal men's Royal Rumble match, but I did not get that memo when Dylan told me about this. So I did put a female wrestler in here.
But when you sent me your list, I was like, well, if she's adding a female, I'm going to add one too.
So the first 15, which is a very clear cut as to where yours ends and mine begins.
Yes. That's why I did it like that.
Will be Dylan's. The last 15 will be mine. So starting off, This is no particular order either.
This is just who we would fucking throw in a Royal Rumble.
Do we want to stop at the 15 and let you discuss your entrance, or do we want to go through and then go explain all this?
Oh, man. I guess we'll do 15 and 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Dylan's 15. Hayabusa, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Rhea Ripley, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Spark Plug Bob Holly. I'm sorry. Jeff Jarrett, John Cena, Roddy Piper, Bret Hart, Owen Hart, Nick Gage, The Rock, RVD, and just fucking cuz.
He popped in my head, bro.
Danny Vallow.
Danny Vallow's fucking taking out everyone.
So Dylan, explain your 15.
I mean, okay, I guess we'll just go name by name here.
Don't go too crazy into this.
I'm not. Hayabusa, I think, is pretty self-explanatory.
I think a lot of them are.
CM Punk's pretty self-explanatory.
Mm-hmm.
Cody, because he obviously has to finish his story.
Okay.
Rhea, because mommy's always on top, and all of these motherfuckers are going to get thrown out by her. And plus, a Rhea Ripley, Nick Gage stare down would just be funny as fuck.
Okay.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, because why not?
Okay.
Sparkplug Bob Holly, because I feel like he'll have a great Iron Man. Like, he can come in at, like, number 3 and really run the field. No, he popped in my head. Same thing with Jeff Jarrett.
Ain't I great?
JEFFJARRETT, choke on that, slap nuts. John Cena, because if I'm in the Rumble, I'm living my dream of working John Cena as well, because I wouldn't have to worry about getting injured, because he's the safest motherfucker out there. Roddy Piper, because I would just want to see CM Punk and Roddy Piper stare down. Same thing with Bret and Owen Hart.
Okay.
Also, I mean, I would just really like to see Owen Hart. Nick Gage, because, like, that motherfucker comes out with all these motherfuckers in the ring. It's just funny.
Pulls out the pizza cutter.
Yeah, like, bro, you're fucked. I love you, Nick Gage. The Rock, because him and Cody need to have a really cool angle. RVD, because if Danny Vallow is in the Rumble, he's smoking weed as well.
Okay.
And Danny Vallow, because he's just simply in there because I'm going to do funny stuff in the Rumble, like not take a bump and do arm wrestling and get locked into a sharpshooter and tap out.
Booking yourself in the fucking Rumble.
But I'm not like Shane. Like, am I eliminating anyone? Probably like 2 people. That's about it.
You can't eliminate people from my fucking list, Dylan.
They gotta be in this list. It's a 30-man Rumble.
No, you don't get to just pick 2 people from my list that I know you're picking, and I know who they are.
No, you're fucking joking, bro. No, if I'm eliminating anyone in this fucking Rumble, it's fucking Sparkplug Bob Holly. And then I'm gonna get the heat and eliminate Rhea.
All right. Well, let's go to Lyssie's 15. All right. It's a wild one. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of all over the place. I'm not gonna lie. So we're starting this off strong. Matt Jackson, Nicholas Jackson.
Wait, why did you say Nicholas but not Matthew? Passport names, come on.
I think I might. I think I'm turning on Matthew.
Are you dead naming people on the podcast?
No, I think I'm turning on Matthew, and I might have a little bit more respect for Nicholas now. Nick's been a diva. A diva.
Why are you calling
Matt
him Nick?
Always is.
Call them by their forsaking names.
Well,
Matthew and Nicholas.
I'm putting Matt and Nick because
Matthew and Nicholas.
No. No, we're not talking about Matthew and Nicholas. We're talking about Matt and Nick, 2 different people. I'm talking about tassels. Talking, like, you know.
All right, you're spending too long on them.
Anyway,
fucking continue.
Takeshita.
Take shitta? I love Takeshita.
Do not disrespect
I love
the
Takeshita.
Japanese names on this podcast.
Takeshita's great.
Hangman.
Hangman's great.
Eddie Guerrero.
Eddie Guerrero's great.
Batista.
Batista would be just wild.
Hikaru Shida.
Okay.
Raven.
Mm-hmm.
Edge.
Okay.
Kenny by God Omega.
Okay.
Pete Dunne.
That was a random one.
Shinsuke Nakamura.
That was also a really random one.
Cactus Jack specifically. I was going to put Foley down, but I was like, I'm going to pick Cactus Jack.
No, it's just him. No three faces of Foley.
Joey Janela.
Joseph Janela.
And because I saw you put Nick Gage on here, it just, in my mind immediately, Sick Nick Mondo.
It'd be a cool stare down.
It would be a really fucking cool stare down.
Honestly, that would be the stare down where Danny Vallow gets eliminated.
As soon as...
They'd fucking just stare down. Nick Mondo has the light tube. Nick Gage has the pizza cutter. There's Danny Vallow. Bye.
As soon as I saw you put Nick Gage, my first immediate thought was Sick Nick Mondo. And then also, I have to throw Joey in there because I love Joey. But we're going to start back up from the top. Matt Jackson, specifically in there because he is the king of battle royales. Okay?
He's not winning it, though.
He's winning it in my head. Anyway, Nick Jackson, because Matt's in there, so that you have to have both of them. Takeshita, because I love him. And I think he'd be one of those that would go in there and just fucking wreck shit. Absolutely wreck shit.
I'd take a Blue Thunder Bomb.
Oh, so would I. Hangman, because I'm biased. Eddie Guerrero, because he's the fucking GOAT. He's the fucking GOAT. And I just fuck it. Put him in there. Batista, because I'm biased. Hikaru Shida, because again, if you're gonna have women, I want in a male dominated rumble, I want a hard hitting woman. And again, it always just goes to Shida. Always goes back to Shida. Raven, because fuck it. And I'm talking like ECW Raven. I'm not talking the TNA bullshit. I'm talking ECW Raven. Because fuck it. Edge, because I want to see it again. I want to see him in a Rumble again. Or a Battle Royale, whichever. Just, why not? Kenny, I'm biased. Pete Dunne, I'm biased. But I fucking love Pete Dunne. I'm happy his name's Pete Dunne again. I just want to see him go in there and I want to see him torture motherfuckers. I don't even want to see him eliminate anyone. I just want to see him torture people. Shinsuke, because I love Shinsuke. And I think,
Shinsuke.
Again, hard hitter. Nakamura. You need the hard hitters in there. Cactus Jack, I'd pop. I'm biased.
Cactus
Joey Janela, I'm biased. But I also think that Joey would be a fun addition. Like, he would be also doing the goofy shit in there.
Me and Joey would have hell of a fun time.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. And then Sick Nick Mondo, because I want that deathmatch stare down. You know, I want the stare down to be Sick Nick Mondo and Nick Gage. And then you and Joey are doing some stupid fuck shit as they're having this stare down. You guys are like doing some fuck shit and you just get in the middle of it. And they both are just looking at you and then they both eliminate both of you. That's what I'd want to happen.
Joey Janela would be a wild match to have.
I want to meet him so bad. And like, it's probably a very easy thing to do. Like, he was at a bar doing a wrestling show, like, not far from us, like an hour and a half away, and I didn't know about it till the day of, and I definitely could have went there and saw him wrestle and had a beer with him or something. I don't drink. I would drink for Joey
There
Janela.
was times where I would just randomly channel Joey Janela in a match.
Oh, God, yeah.
There was just random times where I would just be like, this is some shit Joey Janela would do it, and I guess I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna take a little bit of a side note here and say I love the Young Bucks' new Titantron. What the fuck?
Yeah, they have a new theme too, supposedly.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Well, I'll catch that back up on Twitter.
I mean, I can't turn it up because...
Yeah, don't want to get any sort of copyright thing. But my God,
this match is gonna last like 2 seconds.
Who are they wrestling?
I don't fucking know, but it's gonna last like 2 seconds.
This is fucking great. This is fantastic.
They got 2 jobbers. Let's go, right. Jobbers.
So going back to this Rumble, who would you pick as your winner for this Rumble?
Myself.
Not yourself, dog.
No, if I had to pick the winner is coming. If I had to pick the winner, it is Cody Rhodes to finish his story.
Okay. That's fair. That's very fair. I really just want to funny pick Matt Jackson to win because the King of the Battle Royale thing. But I don't think he's going to be defending his streak. I don't think he's not going to continue here. You know what? Just for the nostalgia and the love factor of this, oh my God. I would definitely pick Eddie Guerrero. Hands down. Just because that is my GOAT, you know, and
Viva la raza.
Viva la raza. This is ridiculous. I don't mean to like be. We're gonna do a quick little live reaction to this because I genuinely want to pay attention to see if anything is happening in this like squash match. But like, just as a play-by-play, Matt Jackson took his jacket off. He's wrestling in the vest. He looks ridiculous, but like in a good way. Absolute good way.
Nick is still standing on the ring apron with his hat on.
Is he gonna take the hat off at all?
I hope not.
What are they?
A blockbuster. Oh, that was actually kind of cool. A
God,
blockbuster.
And the hat stayed on.
The hat did stay on. And now Nick...
Now Nick has taken off his jacket.
Is now wearing the vest. And
he threw it at the camera. What a fucking asshole.
We're getting Rampage live reaction.
Yeah,
Watch this thing pick up steam, and this is what we're gonna have to do on every podcast from now on. Is just Rampage live reaction.
They're going for a lot longer than I thought they were going to, and this has only been going on for like a handful of minutes. Like I really thought that this was just gonna be a one and done, like you're done.
Nah, they're doing their thing where they gotta hit their greatest hits. Here we go. It's gonna end now, I think.
You think this is the end?
Yeah.
We're gonna have a super kick coming.
No, he's gonna kick him in the dick.
Oh, he kicked him in the dick!
That was the super dick.
That was the super dick party. How good.
His hat is still on.
His hat is still on. Incredible. I firmly believe he has super glued it to his head at this point.
They're just wearing fucking... Is that their new gear? I hope so.
I hope they just wrestle in suits.
That's just funny as shit.
We're doing the EVP trigger now. We have it all set up. Which I would like to mention, because I tweeted it. I actually tweeted it, I think, like 9:45. So this was before they came out, but we were behind watching Dynamite. And I looked over at Dylan and I said, I hope that since they're not doing BTE anymore, they call it the EVP trigger. And then I tweeted it out, and then it happened. So, like, I'm not saying that me and the Young Bucks share a brain, but I am going to say that me and the Young Bucks share a brain.
Anyway, the match is over.
Yeah, the match ended. They're just, you know, they're walking around.
And let's talk about Young Bucks more, because your wrestler of the fucking week
is the Young Bucks. So, they're cutting a promo. All right, I'll catch it. I'll rewind this and I'll catch it.
We have a podcast to fucking
We are in the
record.
middle of something that is important, and that is talking about the Young Bucks.
I can literally just do this, to be honest with you.
Yeah, just pause it. Why didn't we do that earlier?
I don't know.
You knew I wanted to watch this. Anywho, so I picked the Young Bucks as the wrestler of the week. I wasn't going to be obvious about it. I was going to think about someone else to pick. But the blood-soaked suit, I have a soft spot in my heart for. And quite literally, since Wednesday, that is all I've been thinking about. I've started a new drawing because of it. Like it is just on my brain. And yeah, so I was like, fuck it, we're talking about the Young Bucks. Now, do you want to ask me questions directed? Because I genuinely believe that if I just sit here and talk, this is going to be 6 hours long. And I think to save people from that, the better thing maybe to do is you ask me specific things to talk about.
Why do you like the Young Bucks?
Okay, so that doesn't help our case in the slightest. Okay, so...
And don't stretch it to 10 minutes.
I'll do my best. So, everything aside from, like, you know, how much I joke about how much I love them and whatnot, I genuinely, like... I really love them because of that cage match with the Lucha Brothers. Again, that wrote me back into wrestling. That to me saved my love for wrestling because of what it was. And again, when I got back into it, we were watching WWE and it wasn't hitting for me. And that hit for me. That made me feel something. That made me feel a certain type of way. And that made me fucking love wrestling again. And that is why they're always going to hold a special place to me, is because they really brought me back into it. Along with that, you know, I can go off about their gimmicks. I could talk about how much the heel Bucks are just fucking phenomenal. And I could talk about how much I love that they just play into the fans and play into the reactions and everything. Again, I could go off for hours talking about it. But realistically speaking, from the bottom of my heart, I love them because they made me love wrestling and they made me love them. Like, and I know that sounds stupid and that sounds cheesy, but it's the truth. Like, it's the absolute fucking truth.
Favorite Young Bucks match that isn't the Lucha Bros match?
Oh, that's a tough one. Shit. I mean, I could go the Young Bucks versus Kenny and Hangman. 'Cause stellar. Now, I will say though, one thing I think about a lot is the match, and I feel bad because I feel weird saying it being in my favorites and I can't even remember the opponents. I think it was House of Black. Who did the Young Bucks team up with FTR against? Who was that?
I think Bullet Club Gold.
Was that Bullet Club Gold?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Ah, fuck, did I think it was House of Black? Nonetheless, because I love specifically the Young Bucks and FTR being like working together, and them working against each other is fantastic. But seeing how they melded their complete different styles together and make it work out so well, like, I'm still mad to this day that we did not get anything else with that. Like, I wish that they ran with that. I don't know if it was legitimately something that happened backstage or if it was just, something just ended up not working and they went a different route with it. I don't know. But I think a lot about that and what could have been if the Young Bucks and FTR continued down this, like, frenemies type route of working together. Hands down. Hands fucking down.
Thoughts on Generation Me?
I can't say much because that was the time I wasn't watching wrestling in TNA and Impact or anything. So, I mean, them versus the Motor City Machine Guns is fucking great. Fucking great. But yeah, I really can't say too much about Generation Me. I just know that they weren't utilized to the best of their abilities in TNA and or Impact. So, yeah, we try to forget about it.
I guess the last question, favorite Young Bucks moment. Like, it can be, I already know we covered, like, match, but it can be, like, a match, or, like, something they did in a match, or, like, whatever the fuck.
Can it be personal?
Sure.
Okay. We're gonna get sappy again. So, you know what? This is just a tattoo tour. This is a tattoo tour. So I'll pop it on the screen right here. I don't care. It's in my bio. I have a Young Bucks tattoo. I do. It's the Nike because that was the moment I fell in love with them. Yeah, again, it's in my Twitter bio. I'm acknowledge it. It's satire. It's funny to be like, yeah, I know what you expect from me.
Sorry to interrupt you. So breaking news. Pro Wrestling Tees has just dropped for 2 weeks only, and I'm probably gonna order it because it's just fucking funny. An Abraham Lincoln micro brawler wearing a singlet and a top hat. I'm definitely fucking ordering. They literally quoted standing at 6'4", weighing in 185 pounds.
See, you know that Dylan's heard all of this shit from me about the Young Bucks before because he's on his phone. Like, he's not paying attention to me at all.
Anyway, continue your Young Bucks tattoo tour.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I have a Young Bucks tattoo. It's in my bio on Twitter because I think it's funny. And, like, I'm self-aware. I'm very self-aware. But I posted it on Twitter when I first got it done. And, post a picture of it, whatever. And maybe an hour or so later or whatever, I go on my Twitter and I have a DM. And I'm like, oh, who DM'd me? Whatever. The Young Bucks DM'd me. I'll put all this on the screen also. The Young Bucks DM'd me. And they said something along the lines of like, you're the best, your tattoo's the best, appreciate the love, everything like that. And I cried. Like, I fucking cried. That meant so fucking much to me. Like, I cannot express it. Like, and along with this, I ended up later on, a while later, posted the picture of it to my Instagram. And, you know, I tagged them in it and whatnot. And they both commented on it and both said some absolutely sweet, sweet things to me. And it was just really cool. It was really nice. And, you know, to me, I know a lot of wrestlers do, so it doesn't necessarily just go for the Young Bucks. It goes for all wrestlers who do things like this. To me, it's so special and it's so nice because these people don't have to go out of their way to talk to you. They don't have to go out of their way to say nice things to you, to message you and whatnot. And the fact that they did, and for how much I love them, it really meant a lot to me. And that's something that I'm never going to forget. That's something that I'm always going to hold near and dear to my heart. And yeah, like that has to be hands down my favorite moment that has to do with the Young Bucks, because again, it's so personal to me and it just meant a whole hell of a lot to me that they did that. And I'll post again, like, it's, if it wasn't on the screen already, it's on the screen now, the Twitter message and the messages that they left on my Instagram post, just so you can read them yourselves. There's been a couple other interactions I've had with them and whatnot. I have a pair of plugs that are the Young Bucks, and Nick responded back to me on my Instagram story when I posted them and said that he loves them. So, you know, it's cool. It's really cool that they take the time out of their day to, you know, talk to fans like that. So yeah, I mean, again, I could really stretch this out for way longer than it needs to be. I know Dylan's miserable hearing about them and miserable at the fact that they're now frozen still on our TV screen. And does not need to hear me not complain, but just talk about them anymore than I normally do. But yeah, all in all, to close out this little segment of this, all in all, Wrestlers of the Week, because I love what they're doing with this EVP gimmick. It's funny. It's great. They always do such a good job digging into what the fans perceive them as and saying, like, oh, you want us to be like this? Okay, we'll do it 10 times over, and we'll do it, like, way better than you think that you think we could do it. And we'll prove to you why we're the best. And I love that. I love that so much. It's one of the reasons why I like CM Punk is because he does the same thing. He plays into the fans a lot. And
it's the best thing to do.
It is the best thing to do. And I think the Bucks do it really well, and they always keep us on our toes with it. And this new gimmick is fan-fucking-tastic, and I can't stop thinking about it. And yeah, they're my favorite tag team of all time, hands down. But I think that wraps it up.
Yes.
I think that pretty much wraps up everything. It was a little bit of a weird one today. Sorry about that. But I do enjoy answering questions. So as always, if you have any questions for us, please leave them in the comments below. Or, you know, don't. That's fine too, I guess.
I think next time if we decide to do a questionnaire too, you should also do it on the Instagram too.
Yeah, I should have.
You should have did on the Talkin Wrasslin one. I kind of just took the reins of it because I was like, it's a fucking slow, like...
It was a very slow week of things to happen.
So I was just like... So it kind of just came to my head because I was listening to the podcast, and one was like it was a ask, like, question. Like a question. So I was just like, I mean... kind of have like an opportunity to do it. I wasn't expecting us to get a bunch of questions because, no offense, it's hard to fucking get people to, like, you know, ride the hype train.
Yeah,
so,
and
we got like 10 questions.
I appreciate the people that definitely did send in questions.
Thank you for sending in questions.
Also, like, I know a good chunk of the people that did.
Yeah.
I know them personally, and you know, if they've made it this far into it, because a couple of people I know have been making not necessarily side comments to me about the podcast in a negative manner, but I was told the other day that a very specific person was happy to hear of a Benji shout out. So I'm like, thanks for listening to the podcast. So I appreciate you guys for sending it in and supporting it and helping. And if you made it this far, I appreciate you for listening always. And yeah, send us in questions. or if you know us in person and you have an idea or a question or something that you know about that you want to hear us cover, you think would be interesting to hear us cover, let us know. If you don't know us personally, also, again, that's totally fine. That's just for the people who are in real life can actually physically walk up to us.
Yes, leave a like, share, subscribe to the YouTube. Hit that notification bell for notifications if you want notifications.
Make sure that when you share this out, you send a specific timestamp of when I start talking about the Young Bucks to the person that you know who hates the Young Bucks and tell them that they have to listen to it.
But also, follow us on Instagram. Lyssie?
Oh, sorry. So our Instagram is Talkin Wrasslin Pod. That's TALKIN_WRASSLIN_POD. Pod, like peas in a pod, but also like podcast.
We'll try to remember to put it in the description.
Hopefully I remember. I've been doing all right with it the past couple of times. If you want to follow me anywhere specifically and hear more about the Young Bucks, then what are you waiting for? You could find me on Twitter and on Instagram at the same username, which is Lungtar. That's LUNG_TAR. And if you want to hear my voice more, which God love you if you fucking do, you could find me on TikTok at LungBucks. That's LUNG_BUCKS. Of course, it's a play on the Young Bucks name. Why the fuck wouldn't it be?
You gotta start showing off the podcast on the TikTok.
I need to start posting on TikTok again because I made a video about how I'm gonna still post on TikTok. And I think I made one video after that, and I have not at all. So I definitely need to get back on the TikTok train a little bit. I've been doing other shit in the morning and keep forgetting to record TikTok. So, because I always do them before work. But Dylan, if people like you more than they like me, which is hard to do,
that'd be a shocker.
Where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Danny Vallow, DANI_. Vallow, VALO_. Don't worry about Twitter. It's a cesspool over there.
If you find him on Twitter, God help you. It's your own demise.
It's been pretty calm as of late.
You haven't been saying anything. That's why.
It's been calm as of late on Twitter. I just been telling Joey Janela that he's a great booker.
He retweeted my best booker of the year thing.
He liked my thing of like Joey just saved us from all this whole fucking mess.
Side note: Joey Janela follows me on Twitter. So
Joey Janela's one.
I don't know why. I don't know what I did to make him follow me, but I appreciate it. So please never unfollow me. Because I love him. He's great.
Also, I mean, we already said it, but yeah, leave comments. Don't be afraid to.
Please talk to us.
Yeah, talk to us. Tell us how you like it and what needs to change.
Aside from audio.
Minus audio. We're poor.
We're poor.
If you want to send us money, ask us what our PayPal is. We'll send you to PayPal.
You know, funny enough, if you go to my link tree... No, I'm kidding. I think it actually might be on there.
Wait, do you still have that Amazon wish list on your link tree?
I do still have an Amazon wish list.
You should just add podcasting microphones into it and just see if someone buys us a fucking microphone.
Please do not feel compelled to send us any money or any sort of items. If you really want to... In my link tree on like my TikTok and my Instagram and everything, I do have links to like a wish list. I don't know if I actually have I might have my Cash App on there or something. But do not feel compelled to ever do anything like that. If you really want to, I would appreciate like that. It's appreciated. Thank you. But God, for the 9 of you that listen to us, do not ever feel compelled to do that.
Yes.
But yes, share, like, subscribe, follow us wherever the fuck you want to follow us, and if you don't, then that's also totally fine. With that, I think we have come to a close and an end, and I think I'm going to listen to what Nick Jackson has to say, that beautiful, beautiful man.
And I'm probably going to force Lyssie to drive to Taco Bell or something, because I'm fucking hungry.
Are you fucking serious?
I'm pretty hungry.
At this hour?
It's only
Dog,
10:41.
I got work in the morning.
Anyway,
we're going to go argue off of podcast. So thank you so much for watching.
We can't have this argument on the pod because it just we get kicked off of YouTube.
It will not end well in the slightest. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening to us.
I want fucking Taco Bell.
I had Taco Bell for lunch, dog.
Did you?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Thank you so much for watching.
Guys.
Taco Bell sponsor us so we don't have to deal with this shit ever again. I'm going to go listen to Nick Jackson speak his beautiful words.
I'm going to think of what we should title this episode. Bye.
Goodbye.